Now we are going to practice reading aloud some English passages. Listen first. Then practice your reading with the same passages as shown on the screen.
Baiklah. Sekarang kita akan belajar membaca teks berbahasa Inggris. Dengarkan dan perhatikan bacaannya terlebih dahulu. Kemudian Anda praktekkan.
Needs and wants.
Our basic needs are simple, but our additional individual wants are often very complex. One important idea in economics is that of needs and wants. Needs would be defined as goods or services that are required. This would include the needs for food, clothing, shelter, health care.
Wants are goods or services that are not necessary but that we desire or wish for. For example, one needs clothes, but one may not needs designer clothes. One does not need toys, entertainment, gems, etc. One needs food, but does not have to have steak or dessert. One does not need glamorous strips, mall shopping, etc.
An important part of the economics is the distribution of resources or goods so that people's needs are met. This is especially true in times of scarcity when there are not enough resources, goods or services. Many times advertisers try to appeal to consumers in such a way that the consumers feel they need certain goods or services when in fact they only want them.
Grammar focus. At this session we are going to learn about nouns in English and learn how to implement it in sentences. Nouns. There are two kinds of nouns, namely countable nouns and uncountable nouns.
Kata benda. Terdapat dua jenis kata benda dalam bahasa Inggris, yaitu kata benda yang bisa dihitung dan yang tidak bisa dihitung.
Countable nouns mean nouns that can be counted. For example, a pen, a pencil, an eraser, a ruler, one chair, the window, the door, 3 pens, 5 pencils, 6 erasers, 2 rulers, 10 chairs, 7 windows, 4 doors.
Countable nouns are divided into two, singular and plural.
We use an, one, when a noun is singular. Meanwhile, we add s when a noun is plural. For examples: book, a book, 1 book, 2 books, 3 books. Student, a student, 1 student, 2 students, 3 students. Next, uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns mean nouns that cannot be counted. For example, water. You cannot say 1 water, 2 waters. It is possible, however, to count some non-count nouns if the substance is placed in a countable container. For example, a glass of water, 1 glass of water, 2 glasses of water. The rules. The rules of making singular into plural. 1. Usually plural forms are nouns plus s. For example, a book becomes books, an employee becomes employees. 2. Words which is ending in s, ch, sh, x, o plus s. For examples, a watch becomes watches, a glass becomes glasses, a brush becomes brushes, a box becomes boxes, a hero becomes heroes. 3. Words which ending in consonant plus y becomes ies. For example, a baby becomes babies, university becomes universities. 4. Words which ending in forfait becomes vase. For example, a leaf becomes leaves, a knife becomes knives, a wife becomes wives. 5. Some nouns have special forms, irregular forms. For example, a mouse becomes mice, a goose becomes geese, A child becomes children. A woman becomes women. A man becomes men. A tooth becomes teeth. A foot becomes feet. Some nouns that end in o add only s to form the plural. For examples: autos, kilos, memos, photos, pianos, radios, solos, sopranos, studios, tattoos, videos, zoos. Some nouns that end in o add either s or s to form the plural. Examples: mosquitoes, mosquitoes, tornadoes, tornadoes, volcanoes, volcanoes, zeros, zeros. Some nouns that end in f simply add s to form the plural. Examples: belief, beliefs, chief, chiefs, cliff, cliffs, roof, roofs. An, the, a, or an can precede only singular count nouns. They mean one. They can be used in a general statement or to introduce a subject which has not been previously mentioned. A is used before words that begin with a consonant sound, while an is used before words that begin with a vowel sound. For examples: a man, an umbrella. The is used to indicate something that we already know about or something that is common knowledge.
Ai atau an hanya mendahului kata benda tunggal yang berarti satu, dapat digunakan dalam pernyataan umum atau untuk memperkenalkan subjek yang belum disebutkan sebelumnya. Sedangkan an digunakan sebelum kata benda yang diawali dengan bunyi vokal. De digunakan untuk menunjukkan sesuatu yang sudah kita ketahui atau sesuatu yang sudah diketahui umum.
To decide whether to use a or an, the rule is use a when the next word begins with a consonant, for example, a crisis, or a voiced vowel, for example, a European, where EU is pronounced U. Use an when the next word begins with an unvoiced vowel, a, e, I, o, u, for example, an equilibrium, or a vowel sound, as in an M, S, C. That is, M is pronounced For example, a man is walking toward me. The man is carrying a parcel. The parcel is full of meat. The man has just bought some meat. A dog is following the man. The dog is looking at the parcel. How to make a sentence. This is the way how to make a simple sentence using this, that, and thereby adding the verb be, is, or, are. For examples: this is a book. Singular. The plural is, these are books. That is a chair. The plural is, those are chairs. There is a glass on the table. The plural, there are glasses on the table. Other examples: this is a doll. The plural is, all these are dolls. This is not a doll. The plural is, all these are not dolls. Is this a doll? The plural is, are all these doll? That is a boy. The plural is, all these are boys. That is not a boy. The plural is those are not boys. Is that a boy? The plural is are those boys? There is a pen. The plural. There are pens. There is not a pen. The plural. There are not pens. Is there a pen? The plural. Are there pens? Some and any. Both some and any can refer to an indefinite quantity or number. They are used with plural countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Some is used in positive sentences, while any is used in negative and interrogative sentences. For examples: there is some water in the bucket. There is somebody at the door. There aren't any pens on the table. There aren't any pencils on the table. There isn't any water in the bucket. Is there any water in the bucket? Are there any grapes on the table? Did you see anybody in the room? Much and many. Much is used with uncountable nouns. Many is used with countable nouns in plural. Much and many can be used with how, to make, how much, and how many. For examples: how many students are there in the classroom? How much money do you have? Apostrophe S. Apostrophe S is used to show possessive or ownership. For examples: this book belongs to Ridwan. Means it's Ridwan's book. We can use these forms: singular noun plus apostrophe S. Example: my father's car. Plural noun plus apostrophe. Example: parents' house. Irregular plural plus apostrophe S. Example: the children's room. However, when the name ends in S, we should put apostrophe only. For example: this bag belongs to Eunice. Means it's Eunice's book. Practice 1. Look at this. This is Harriman. This is his bag. The answer is, this is Harriman's bag. Now, you do the same the following as the example.
Silahkan pause dulu videonya.
Practice 2. Using that, this, and there. Look at the example. This is a book. This is not a book. Is this a book? Yes. This is a book. No. This is not a book. Now, you do the same the following as the example.
Now please, pause your video to answer the questions.
Practice 3. Make these plural.
Now please, pause your video to answer the questions.
Practice 5. Look at the example. There are some students. There are not any students. Are there any students? Now, you do the following as the example.
Now please, pause your video to answer the questions.
Practice 5. Girls. Boys. Look at the example. Are there any girls in this room? No. There are not any girls in this room. But there are some boys. Now you do the following as the example. Making sentences in an affirmative or positive, negative and interrogative sentences.
Now please, pause your video to answer the questions.
Pronunciation drill. Old. Brother. Mother. Son. Teacher. He. Ball. Morning. Or. Age. From. Dog. Where there is great love, there are always miracles.
This is the end of the lesson. Thank you for your participation and attention. Have a nice day.
Hatur nuhun.